Hi, we're back again. My name is Tony Sage. I'm a dev, and this is Sage Dev. We have a productionalized version of the site. Full disclosure, it's not currently in its finest hour because, let me get there. There we go. It's not in its finest hour because we're still pending our email vendor approval. Our 2FA is email generated, and that email is leveraging the AWS email service. And apparently, AWS doesn't want us to have the ability to mass market or do something crazy and send out 1,000 emails based on one little tiny build. So when we go to log in and we do our 2FA, it's currently giving us an error. See, this is not handling it as gracefully as I would hope, but I'm fine with it right now because we're not in a published, finished state. We are live, and if you wanted to check it out, it's on streetbytes.org. But there's no content until we can log in and add some trucks or get some buy-in and get some people to add some trucks. But now that we're live, we have other things to think about. The biggest thing I want to focus on today is actually establishing our SEO optimization and putting OG images and things in place in our head in the meta, so that when this is shared, if I go to try to get adoption on Facebook or something and get some truck users or some people that like food trucks to go in and log in and try working with it, I want them to have a nice experience with a customized image and some context. I want to make sure that this is getting promoted in search. A lot of the things we need to make this higher in the search results are already there. We're talking ADA compliance, speed, and performance. All our images have alt tags. All of our WCAG 2.0 AA is met. So all of those things are big wins for this site. But if we want to drive traffic, we probably should consider adding some kind of a wiki or a articles or something that can establish us as an expert in the market of food trucks, which sounds like a lot of fun. If I'm being honest, if I want to go out and eat at 50 food trucks a month and add some reviews, or if I want to do a event tracking or something to say that this event is happening, there's going to be these food trucks at this event, and what that is going to look like. That could be a pretty cool side job for me to do. But for the scope of this current work that we're going to do today, we're going to focus on making this social media happy. And in order to do that, we need to set up some OG images. I don't have a formatted image specifically for this yet. So we are going to leverage Gemini to create us an image, one that can live on the site in that meta. Eventually, we want that to be WebP and formatted in a specific way so that it doesn't bog down our load speed. So let's just ask it. It has a lot of the history because I've been doing a lot of this discovery in Gemini, but we can give it some specifics as well. So I want to generate an OG image for the Street Bytes app. I have the logo I would like to put in front of some cool stylized image. Can you help me with that? I can provide the PNG with transparency if that is helpful. Please provide the PNG with yeah. I will upload my PNG. So we have, you got a little insight into my background here. Projects, Street Bytes, and it's under the where are you? Storage. No. Let's just, no, I'm not going to be lazy. Street Bytes, icon, SVG logo. There it is. So it's under not resources public, just public images. Perfect. Okay. So that makes for good video. Public, wherever public is. Public images, Street Bytes logo. Open. Upload your PNG. Tell me your preferences based on the ideas above. Bright colors, graffiti graphics, dynamic lines, sleek vector graphics, bright but curated color palette, warm and inviting, or pop art. Let's do vibrant and energetic. Let's see how that looks. I don't want these. So I like that, but I don't like the App Store, Google Play. The site is on streetbytes.org. Can you update that to match? So when it comes to creating things in Gemini, wrong. It must be streetbytes.org with a hyphen. I could probably go in and get a new DNS. I don't want a new DNS for Street Bytes without the hyphen. That sounds like a cost that I don't want to pay. $10 more for nothing. Nice. When you're grooming and going through image creation and things with Gemini, you can go through a series of prompts. You can clean it as much as you want, but because we are just going to go with something pretty straightforward for visibility, I think this is fine, honestly. And I'm not even going to worry about the Gemini image. People can see that it's created by Gemini. This is my passion project. This isn't what I'm doing to make money. So I'm fine with it. For us to set up an OG image, why is Docker just constantly doing that? Let's see that it's saved. Should be in my downloads, I think. Downloads, Gemini created. There we go. I like that. It's highlighting our logo. It's giving it that cool outside shadow and putting it over a transparent, semi-transparent background so that it's still legible. And I think that would share very nicely on social media, and it's kind of getting the gist of what we're trying to do here with all of the different trucks. So I'm happy with that image. That being said, we need to make sure that it meets our requirements. So recommendation for OG image is 1200 by 630 pixel with the 1.91 to 1 aspect ratio. So let's take this and give it back to Claude. I have an image that I created for OG image on the site. I want to make sure it meets the requirements, these requirements. (1200 by 630 pixels). We want it to be 1.91 to 1. So use compressed formats like PNG or to keep the file size under 2 megabytes to ensure fast preview generation. I want it to be fast and effective. Can you help me set that up? I also need to set meta across the site for better SEO and shareability on social media. Learn spelling. I don't know the spelling. We're just going to say that's spelled correctly because I don't care. I will give it the image that we just generated. And let's just to make sure that it doesn't call it Gemini generated, let's make it street bytes social.png, and we'll give it that add file for street bytes social png, and let's see what it does. I don't think I'm going to use Fable. I think I'm going to use to heck with it. We're going to use Fable. So last time when we generated these images, I kind of just showed you what I generated. This is the process that I used to get to that. We can, using Gemini, it already has tools that it downloaded from Composer to establish these. So the image right now is, let's see how big it is. It is 8.2 megabytes. It's far too large. It is 2848 by 1504. So we want it to scale that down. We want it to make it more thin and lean, but we want it to look the same, essentially the same. And with this prompt, it should hopefully just stand up all of our meta for us. It's not going to be hard to do. I could probably do it myself with very little effort. Because of the way we built this, we have our, let me get there. Database, Docker, not it. Digging through a repo takes practice. Let me just go to the shell blade. So our shell blade right now is where we keep all of our head, and meta is just something else that we would add into the head. So once this image is set on the site in the public file, or public, see they added it to public, it should then add that additional meta directly for us into the head, and make that dynamic. So if I was going to do this myself, I would just say, give me the current page title, which is set here, set that into the meta, and when they share, it'll always share that same image. I don't need anything more granular than that. So let's see what Claude does. So it convert size, and it's using some libraries that it already had. Exit codes. Oh. Okay, so it says the image looks good, so let's look at the image. I mean, that's pretty much what we provided. Let's look at the setup on that. Okay, so that's way cheaper to load. So instead of that massive 8 megabyte, this is only 303 kilobytes. It did size it down to the 1200 by 630, and it did those things for us with the composer libraries that it installed in the past. So this is pretty solid for 2 minutes of work. If I wanted to, and I had some software available to me like Photoshop, I could come in and clean this out using a magic lasso or something and just get rid of that. I'm not really concerned. I think it's fine for our current state, and I'm not going to move forward on it. So it is digging into my site. One thing that we did in our cleanup is remove its access to a lot of the things. I'm sorry, I do that a lot. I have to readjust. I'm big and I have a back, and my back can hurt sometimes. But it's digging into all of the things that we removed. So we had access for the entire repo, and we hid that. In our .claude, if you recall, we had a .claude directory here. And inside that directory, we had a number of things that we gave it permissions to do. And we said we're going to keep those permissions forever. Those have been removed. So when it needs access to things, it's going to have to ask me individually, and I will allow them once, so that we don't get into a state where we're potentially impacting our production type code by injecting or doing something that I didn't intend to do. It's creating its own blade. That is a good idea. And then it's populating those with PHP. So this blade is dynamic in and of itself. So it's setting our props, and then it's populating the description and the image and the URL, and then setting those into our meta. So this is looking pretty good for me. Site name, locale, type, title, description are all coming from the actual props and our OG image. And it added that into a shell template. That's fine. Once we have that established, we can test. We'll look at the Facebook sharing debugger. So let me open that up. There's some weirdness going on in Meta. That's weird. Log into Facebook to use the tool. What if I don't want to log into Facebook? What if I don't want to expose that to the wider audience? Let me just see. Don't take me to my homepage. Don't take me to my homepage. I'm not a robot. Oh, I'm on Facebook. You can follow me. There's really nothing there. I'm never on it. The only time I'm on it is to use tools like this. Okay. So once we deploy this, if we want to see what it looks like, I probably can't do it locally. They usually don't allow that. But when I get this done and deployed, We can reopen this and test in there. It's running some tests. But if we look at our code, we have a new meta blade, which we already looked at. We have in our app, it's loading the meta blade. That's this SEO meta. X is kind of their generic front for using blades. So this is saying that it's SEO meta is our, and then our title right now is Street Bites. I thought we redid this logic. It probably re-added it. It used to say Street Bites Home, but now it just says Street Bites. So if we're on some weird page that we've nested way down deep that doesn't have a title for some reason, it defaults. And then it's added to our shell. We've also set that robots is null. I wonder why. So robots, you could do a robots no index. We don't want a no index. We want these to be discoverable. But if we had pages that we wanted this to be hidden, we could pass a prop into the shell blade from our actual blades that are set into the slot. And we could hook that up so that we say this page is not searchable. I don't see any reason to do that. And there probably is some logic around the login and things that could be, but because they're through, you have to go through our authentication flow to get there. I'm not terribly concerned about that. It's also updated our title and description for our about page, which is good. And it's added some additional logic for our search so that when we do a search, it'll actually populate that search term into the shareable link, which is good. Other things we could do, let's see if it's done. It's modifying its Claude.md. Other things we could do to make this more searchable and visible is add a wiki or a Street Bites news piece. Maybe we'll do that in the future. I don't really want to cater content right now. Once it's shareable, that's fine. Maybe down the road we could start catering content. It also seems a little bit gross because the way that I would cater my content with the knowledge that I have right now is just going out to Facebook groups and things and stealing their content and making it mine, which seems dirty, even though Bloomreach and all of these people already do that. Actually, that's what AI does, is go out and get someone else's content and context and then rewrite it and display it. I don't really want to do that right now. So it is going through robots.txt. Why are you failing? Oh, it has to read before it writes, that's all. So shell, and we already looked at this, has props, so you can set the home page through the prop. You can set additional context. No index where Google wants it. So search results for Search Blade, the style guide, have all already been set with the no index robots. It did that for us. Lando Pest was completely broken. It didn't look broken when I ran it this morning. That's fine. Then it passed Facebook sharing debugger. That's what I already displayed. Okay. So we will go ahead and roll this out to production and come back when it's back and we can look at the Facebook tester. Okay, our latest deploy has gone out with those meta checks. So let's verify they are there. In the head now, I have lots of meta, which is what we want. You don't want too much obscure things here, but we're pretty straightforward with our OG. OG will be picked up by most social media. We also have Twitter cards and things like that are set in here, which is great. So now the real test is to try sharing a page. I'm going to use our share debugger. I had to log in to get here, but we can do that. So let's do https://www.streetbytes.org. This is my first time sharing a brand new site, so it has to go in and get the meta. App ID. I guess I can add that. When we go through here, it only took 4 seconds to scrape, which is pretty great. Now when we share this in social media, we should get our nice looking image. We should get our streetbytes.org and our page title along with our meta description. So in here it says we have our URL, website, our org title, our description, and then our image. And it also sets up for Twitter as well. And I think that's good. What is this and why do I care? Let's just drop this into Claude, and we won't deploy again for this video, but I'm getting this back from the Facebook debugger. FB app ID. Is it an app ID for Facebook? Am I supposed to have my own Facebook page just for a site? Benign. So you can share analytics and Facebook insights and manage the objects from the app. It's fine. Okay, has nothing to do with anything. Ignore it. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. That's fine. Let's ignore that. I am going to have it update my docs, and then we're going to call it good. So when I get that email issue resolved, when Amazon gets back to me and says that I have a publicly accessible email, I will start sharing this in social media and see where we go. I already found a Kansas City local truck Facebook group, but I think that if I could share this enough with outside groups, once I have some trucks established, we could see this do pretty well. So let's just run that, update docs, and I think that's it for this video. Thank you very much. We are getting there. So close to being dev complete until we work on our next feature, which could be next week for all I know. All right. Always, if you have any other context, you're an expert in SEO and you want to tell me things that I'm missing, you have comments on what we could do to make our page more searchable, or what we could do to expand our content outside of adding some kind of a events or wiki type of solution, let me know, because I'd be interested in your insight. I am more of a generalist full stack developer than I am a specific SEO content manager, so I would appreciate it. And if you like this, or you like how we've established this using our AI driven development, please share it. We have a channel full of videos. I'm probably going to do another project around just hosting my own personal portfolio in the future, so look for that. And that's it. Have a great day and take care.